everyone, so today I am going to be talking you through my July favourites. I have looked back through my previous videos and the last one I did of a favourites video was in May because obviously I had that little hiatus in June. So I've got quite a lot of stuff today to talk to you about, stuff that I've really been enjoying and reaching for and gravitating towards for this past month. So obviously I'm back in my office. I'm not sure how the lighting's going to be because I've forgotten that during the day in the morning in here the sun shines through, so it might go a little bit wishy-washy, the clouds might come over, but hopefully it'll be okay and we'll get through it. Just figured that because we're moving the house around so much because of baby, where I was filming in our bedroom, it just wasn't, the camera and the light was set up in our bedroom, and not only does it look a little bit dodgy, I have to say, it's just not very practical. And I've got this room here which is meant to be for my filming space, so I'm just trying to make little changes here and there. So this is the first one. So I've got this that I can use as my background. I've got another piece of furniture on this wall and also on the back wall, so you might see a few different bits and pieces happening in here, but for the most part this is where I'm going to be filming. Anyway, I'm going to get straight into it because otherwise we'll be here all day. This is the longest intro ever already, and I've not even told you anything that I've been enjoying. I'm going to do these in kind of like a bit of an order of how I usually do my face. So I'm going to start off with skincare, and this you probably have heard me talk about before. This is the Embryolisse Lay Cream Concentrate, and I featured this in a video recently where I did my makeup and I said to you all how much I'd fallen back in love with it. It's one of those products that you just know is going to work. I think the smaller bottle is about £13 and the bigger bottle is around £20. And I heard about this because when I did my makeup course with the Pixie Woo girls, with Sam and Nick Chapman, they said how this was just such a staple for their makeup kit because it works on so many skin types. It's a moisturiser, but it also works really, really well as a base for makeup. So this morning I popped this on with a little bit of eye cream, popped this on, let that sink in for a bit and did my eyes, and then went back and just used a Smashbox primer water because I feel like this does enough for me. I don't need to go in with another cream based product as a primer. I'd say it's amazing for sensitive skin. It says it's for all skin types, but it's just really non-offensive. It's not got much of a scent to it. It makes your skin feel so hydrated and it sinks in almost immediately. It's honestly my favourite moisturiser that I've ever used, and it's just one that I will always go back to. Next I have two base products to share with you, and they are both quite pricey, I have to say. I always try and mix things up in these videos and not show you all high-end stuff, but this is just an honest kind of favourites roundup, and these are the two foundations that I've been wearing all month. And the first one will not come as a surprise, I don't think. This is the It's Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. This is so good. This is something that everybody talks about, and I never bought it. I had a little mini from when I went to America a couple of years ago, and it was the wrong shade and it completely put me off it. And I just thought it was about time really that I invested. I think it's about £30. I wear the shade Light, and this basically says that it's a colour correcting full coverage cream with an anti-aging hydrating serum, and it's also 50 SPF, 50 plus SPF. So I bought this for when we went to Mykonos, and with the intent that this was going to be my kind of day-to-day wear base. So if we went out at night, this is what I would wear. So I've got the SPF in there, and it's not going to be too heavy because it's not like an actual foundation. I was trying to get a hand free then to go foundation, but I had both hands full and I nearly dropped everything. It makes your skin, it evens everything out. It gets rid of any kind of redness that I've got. I might need to go in with a little bit more on my cheeks if I am particularly red that day, or if I've got any blemishes or anything like that, but it's just so skin-like. It doesn't make you look like you've got a really heavy layer of foundation on. It just makes your skin look better. Whoever named this got the name spot on because it really, that's what it does. And I don't tend to really like just wearing tinted moisturisers or really light products, because although I've been preferring a much lighter base recently, I find that if it doesn't give me enough coverage when I've got all the rest of my makeup on, even if I only put a bit on, I don't look right. It's all a bit out of sync, and not, I don't know, there's just something not right about it. Whereas this is light enough coverage but heavy enough coverage that makes you look like you're still wearing a good layer, if that makes sense. It's so good, honestly. If you're thinking about trying this and you've just had it in the back of your mind and you're not sure, I'd just go for it. And if you're my shade and you don't like it, I'll buy it off you if you don't like it, because I'm almost out of this. I've never gone through a base product as quickly as this, and I've said it before, it's not because I need a lot of it. I need like 1 pump if I'm just going kind of like about my day. I use a couple more, if like 2 pumps if I want a bit more coverage. But I've been using it non-stop. I also really like mixing this foundation in with it. Now this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, which I love on its own. It's a really gorgeous texture. This is so, it goes on like a dream. Like, it is silky. It's like it gives you like a gorgeous satin finish. It doesn't look cakey, and I really believe that with this one you could really just keep going with the layers, keep building it up, and it still wouldn't look like you had really thick heavy makeup on. I wear the shade 4 in this, and it blends beautifully. You can get away with wearing a little bit. It works really nicely mixed in with other foundations, when I have been doing with this one. I'm going to talk about a concealer which has had quite a lot of hype this year. This is in the shade Light to Vanilla, and it's the Soft Matte Complete Concealer from NARS. So this is their little pot concealer. It's quite a recent release, really. I really like applying this with a beauty blender, like a damp sponge, because it is quite a drier texture of a concealer, so it would be really, really good for blemishes, or like covering up a little bit more redness, you know, if you just wanted a little bit more coverage. But I do use this under my eyes. Now I have to find that I have to be really careful with what powder I use under my eyes, because it doesn't crease, but by the end of the day I do find that sometimes it's come away a little bit. It's not like Tarte Shape Tape, where at the end of the day I look exactly the same as I did in the morning. But I have really been enjoying this. I just really like the texture of it, and in this warmer weather, because it is a little bit drier, I found that I've just stuck my blooming fingernail in it. I do find that it lasts that little bit longer because it is more of a dry formula. So obviously as you get hotter throughout the day, it kind of just sinks in beautifully and it goes to like a really, really nice texture, but you do have to powder it, but not too heavily. I've found that a nice loose powder works really well with this one. It's a really nice amount of coverage and it doesn't kind of like crease or anything like that. Speaking of powders, I've got 2 to show you, and one of them I've just kind of thrown in at the last minute because in kind of me just trying to be honest with stuff that I've been loving, I've gone back to an old favourite, and this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. Hourglass products honestly just blow me away. I have had the Hourglass Veil, I got it for my birthday, but I haven't actually used that yet. But I've just gone back to this palette. Now you get 3 shades in here. You get dim light, incandescent light and radiant light, and I think my favourite is limited edition to this palette. It's the middle one, it's the lightest one. It's kind of got more of a pinky pearlescent sheen, and it's definitely the one that I've used most. I've hit pan on it, and the one I've used least is the one at this end, which is radiant light. It's just, I feel like all over my face is a little bit too dark, especially if I've not got a little bit of colour, like a tan. What I've been doing recently, because I don't want to run out too quickly of the middle one, I've kind of been sweeping my brush all the way through these, and it's the powder that I'm wearing today. I just find that it makes your skin look so healthy, and you just look, it sets everything in place, but it doesn't mattify anything. You still have this kind of really beautiful glow, and if you've spent a fortune on like a glowy foundation or a glowy primer and you don't want to look flat, you still want to look lifelike, they work so beautifully all over the skin to powder, and it sets my makeup in place all day. I don't have to worry about it. I really like that they've got that little bit of a sheen to them, so under the eyes again it gives a little bit of dimension, and I've just gone straight back to it and been really enjoying using it. For a loose powder this month, I think this was probably the best loose powder I've tried yet. I prefer this to the Laura Mercier one. The Laura Mercier one I found creased under my eyes. This one is so light that it doesn't do this. This is the Glossier Wilder powder. And I have to say my favourite thing about this probably is the packaging, as lame as that sounds. Loose powders are such a pain in the ass that they just go everywhere. Literally you just have to unscrew the lid, don't you, and it pours all over you. And I've just opened this and none has gone anywhere. It has this little mesh kind of applicator thing in the middle. It's not an applicator, you don't use it to apply anything, but it just means that you can just swirl your brush around in there and you get the product out. You don't have to do any like tapping of anything, you don't have to pour any of the powder out anywhere, which means also that you don't lose any of the product. Now it's It's so light. I think with all Glossier products, they're very obviously, they don't do anything that's very heavy, and it's all kind of about natural makeup and natural skin, or natural looking makeup and natural looking skin, should I say. And it just works really well. It sets everything in place all day. It does, this one is a little bit more mattifying than this one. It takes away the shine, but it's not as, the Charlotte Tilbury one that I really like, and other loose powders that I've used in the past, the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder, but like the Laura Mercier loose powder, I find that they can look very, very matte. You pop it on, it mattes everything down, which is great if that's what you're after. But at the moment, for the past however long, I've really been enjoying just having my skin looking like my skin and having kind of like that little bit of a glow, and this doesn't eradicate any glow. You still look healthy. You've got a little bit of a sheen to the skin, but your foundation is set. So it's kind of best of both worlds for me. I'm a waffler, aren't I? You can tell that I haven't filmed for over a month, or that I didn't film for a month, because since I've been back, all I do is talk a lot. A brush that I would say is a bit of a princess product. Well, you can use this for highlighter and blusher as well. It's not just like a one-use brush, but what I've been using it for is to use a powder to set under my eyes, which I never used to do, but I've really found the benefit in this recently. And if you're after a brush for that particular reason, but you can use it for other things too, this is the Real Techniques B02 brush. Now, this is a little bit pricier than like the Zoeva brushes that you can get and Morphe, but it is a beautiful brush. So if you've got Boots points or vouchers, you know I'm all about saving money and those bargains, or if this is on offer, I would definitely give this a go. And also the big fluffy powder brush, I've mentioned that before, I love that for powder. But this is just really nice for under the eyes. It just is the perfect, I'm gonna do that really cringy thing when people sit there and do that, but it's the perfect size for under your eyes. I just know that I've got the powder where I want it with this brush, and as I say, it works really nicely for highlight and also for blusher and even at contour, I suppose, but I don't really contour that much. But I've used this every day for ages, really. As you can tell, because it's blammy filthy. I've got an eyeshadow that I want to talk to you about. This is Makeup Geek Poppy. I did use it, I think, in a video not that so long ago, so I'll link it around here somewhere if I did use it in that video. But this looks really scary in the pan. It's Poppy, I've said that, it's called Poppy. It's a matte eyeshadow, and it's basically a bright reddy orange, but it's beautiful. It goes on, as I always say about Makeup Geek eyeshadows, they blend beautifully, they're so creamy, they look amazing. This colour in particular, especially with the warmer weather, I love using this in my crease and kind of just like to make an eyeshadow look a lot warmer. So if I'm going in with like a bronze or a gold eyeshadow, this works really, really well. But also, I don't know, it's just so versatile. It's one of those that I think looks really scary, but once you've used it a few times, it's honestly, it will become one of your favourite eyeshadows. I really, really like it. And if you really like kind of like the warmer eyeshadows, if you like the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia, then that'll be right up your street. There's so many different eyeshadow palettes at the moment that has this shade in, these warmer tones that have been so popular, and this one is like a fiver. I've got two lip products to share with you this month, and I'm wearing them both today. One's a lip liner and one's a lipstick, so you can kind of see them combined, but the lipstick is kind of more true to colour, I would say, as I'm wearing it, because I've gone over the lip liner. But the liner is the NYX Nude Suede Shoes liner, and that's the shade of it. It's the Slide On Glide On Stay On and Definitely a Turn On Waterproof Extreme Colour Lip Liner. This lip liner is so good, the name had to be this long, trademark. Okay, I was not expecting that, but it's Nude Suede Shoes from NYX. It's a nude lip liner, it's affordable. I don't really like saying the word affordable because I think it's all relative, but it is, compared to like the Charlotte Tilbury one that is very similar in shade to this, it's more affordable. It's a nude lip liner, it's creamy, it doesn't crack, it's really nice. And I also have been wearing Non-Stop MAC Spirit lipstick. This is a satin finish. It is kind of like, I think I used this in one of my recent like makeup looks, the summer one. It's kind of like a deeper nude, so it's got a little bit more brown tone to it, but I have loved this. It's been my favourite MAC lipstick that I've had in a while, and I've been wearing it every single day. I just really like it that I can kind of blot it on and it gives me a bit of colour, or I can wear it a little bit more so like today and it's still like a really, really nice shade. they're really nice together. They're nice on their own too. I've got a couple of clothing bits and also accessories to show you. So the first one, I've actually got it on the cardboard still. I'm just kind of popping it in front of it so that you can see it better. So it's got a little bit of a background, but I've really been enjoying. I'm more kind of into like delicate jewellery these days, and this necklace from Topshop, it was £8.50, and they have a range in there at the moment where they are all like star signs. So this one is Gemini because I am a Gemini, and I don't know if this will show up very well. Everything will be linked down below. Hopefully you'll see it, but if you can see, it's just got the little Gemini sign, and it's just a gold necklace, really plain and simple, but really effective. And I've just really been enjoying it. I like that it's a little bit different and that it means something, but it's not like in your face. It's not like you've got a necklace that says Gemini, which is perfectly fine if that's what you're into, but I just like that this is a bit more subtle. This is also from Topshop, and this is a recent handbag purchase, which to be honest is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I've loved using this month. It doesn't actually have a clasp to close it, so if that would annoy some of you, bear that in mind. But obviously all of these kind of like crochet bags are really in at the moment, and this is probably as daring as I'm willing to go. I love the cream one with the wooden, is it bamboo handles, but it just won't stay clean. I know it won't. There's just no point in me even investing in that. But this is the one that I bought. So this is black, and it's got these like tassels hanging off, which surprisingly don't actually get very tangled. It's got a little bit of beading, a really nice pattern here, and then the strap is like a plait. This wasn't too expensive for a handbag, for a Topshop handbag anyway. You can fit quite a lot in there, it's quite roomy, and I've had quite a lot of comments on this, people asking where it's from and things like that, because it's just that little bit different. And then the two pieces of clothing that I want to talk to you about, this one actually isn't buttoned up, so just give me a sec to do this. Now, this one has sold out on the New Look website, but keep an eye out because they are in store still. I saw it the other day. I've got this one and a black one. On the New Look website at the moment, they do it in a really gorgeous burnt orange colour, which I'm very tempted to order, and also like a mustard yellow. So it seems to be a line that they are just bringing out in different colours. And it's also one of those things where I could have it in every single colour, so it's probably not the best thing really, bank account wise. But I have obviously oversized in this because I'm pregnant and normal jumpsuit sizes are not going to fit over the bump. But it's a really gorgeous kind of like lightweight cool material, and it's just a jumpsuit. So the sleeves are a little bit longer, they're a little bit capped, so they hide those kind of like bits that not many of us like. It's got tortoiseshell buttons, and then it pulls you in at the waist. It's got a tie around it, and then the legs are like culottes, so they're really wide. I have, if you watched my vlog from last week, I had the black one on in that, so you can kind of see more what it looks like on. It was about £22 to £25, and it's just one of those things that's so easy to throw on. You can style it if you want to, put accessories, a handbag, nice shoes with it. You can also just get away with wearing Vans or Converse and just walking out the house in it, because again, it's one of those things that makes you look like you've put effort into an outfit, but you've thrown on a jumpsuit. And then the other one is also a jumpsuit. This is from ASOS. Now this is from the maternity range, and I know a lot of you that watch these videos are expecting that will come in handy for you, but also they do this in the normal range. I'm not sure whether they've still got this colorway in, but they do it in a stripe, they do it in a plain grey and a khaki, I think, so I'll try and link whatever I can. But it's basically a jersey material, so it's really like comfy and slouchy and soft, and it's basically got really long straps. You might have seen this on my Instagram or even on one of the vlogs. I've worn this in a video as well, and it's this black and white checked print, and it's basically just a really comfy jumpsuit with long legs, with wide legs again, and it's really easy to throw on. I've been wearing this with like a black short sleeve t-shirt underneath it, and some like kind of rip-off Birkenstocks from Primark. It's just, again, something that's really easy to throw on, and it's not too heavy. It's still quite lightweight. So we've had such weird weather recently up in the northwest, where it's been like quite muggy and it might be raining, but it's still quite warm. So it's quite nice to have something like this, because it's kind of, it's quite versatile with the weather. And that's it. I don't really have anything else to update you on. I'm gonna love you and leave you because I'm waffling as usual. Any comments, please leave them. This afternoon I'm gonna try and get through and reply to as many of you as I possibly can.